my darling friends, Jenny Lee here. And in this video, we are going to talk about items number 7, 8, and 9 in my top 10 pitfalls to avoid when purchasing a property to invest in, whether you live there or not, because remember, I always say it's still an investment, even if you're buying it just to live in it. Okay, so number 7 on our list is buying with the wrong terms. So if you are a house flipper, you're probably buying the property with other people's money. So maybe it's a hard money loan, maybe it's a personal loan, wherever you're getting the money from, you want to make sure that you're not borrowing that money at the wrong terms. And the wrong terms could be interest rate, obviously. That could definitely be the wrong term. But what if the wrong term is timing? Like, what if your source wants that money back within 4 months? Can you do it? Well, you might be looking at a flip and going, yeah, well, it just needs simple repairs. So I think I can get the work done in a couple of weeks, put it on the market, it'll sell and close within 30 days. So yeah, I can do 4 months. Really? If you were around in April of 2020, you might say that there are things that could happen that might surprise you, that might come out of left field that you just don't know are coming. And so I would say that you want to always make sure that the terms you have on the money you borrow or the agreement you have with another investor or lender are giving you enough time so that if something happens, you have time. And so I always recommend that you get a year, even on like a simple project, because you don't know. You just don't know if something happens. So many times you get into a flip and then you find something and all of a sudden your 2-month project is now a 4-month project, and then you got time on the market and then you got loans to close, and you're just really better off to give yourself a year. So make sure you're not buying with the wrong terms, because that can also cause you a loss in profit if you have to sell too quickly or if you're paying too high of an interest rate. So number 8 is buying the wrong house size. Now this is interesting because you could be buying a house that is too small, like, in an area where people are really looking for bigger houses and they're really not interested in smaller houses. It could be that you're buying a house in an area that is more urban and it's a big house and people are not interested in big houses. So you really need to look at the size of the property and see, does that fit in the market that I'm going to be reselling in? And so if it doesn't and it's too small, can you add on? And does that make it feasible to still come out and make a profit? And if you can't add on, if it's a too big of a property, can you split it up? So anyway, you do need to consider the size of the property and make sure that it's marketable later on. And then number 9 is buying in the wrong market conditions. So that's really kind of a touchy sort of thing, because there is an opportunity when market conditions are uncertain that a lot of times you can get a better deal. And then there are times that market conditions are such that maybe you need to wait. Maybe you need to wait and see what's happening. So you really have to use judgment and say, okay, given the market condition, what do I think could possibly be the worst case and what could be the best case? And can you live with the worst case? If you can live with the worst case, then I think you're fine. But if you're counting on the best case and the market conditions are like April of 2020, I wouldn't do it. And so, I would say that in certain market conditions where there's so much uncertainty, you want to look at the number one thing you always want to make sure you do when buying real estate, and that is buying in the right location. And making sure you can hold on to it if the market's not ready for resale. So, in the next video, we're going to be discussing number 10 in the top 10 pitfalls to avoid. And I hope your day is fabulous. Mwah.